Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hygiene Elevated's Conversations and Innovations podcasts. We are your co-hosts, Joffrey and Amanda.
Hello
Hygiene
there.
Elevated, for those of you who don't know, is a dental consulting firm aimed to transform hygiene departments and elevate the dental team. Um, we just, in this intro video, wanted to take the time to introduce ourselves as your co-hosts and also tell you about what we have in store for you guys. Amanda, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself first?
All right. I am Amanda, and I think you can probably hear my dogs barking in the background. My hygiene Instagram handle is the Curvy Scaler. And I have been on social media, I guess, for 2.5 years now. Stepping back a little bit, I am originally from the land of enchantment, the state of New Mexico, where I born and raised, went to the University of New Mexico. I've been a practicing hygienist. It's been 15 years this year, which baffles me. And I have practiced in primarily private practices. New Mexico is a very rural state, so there was a combination of private practices in the city, Albuquerque, but the majority of my practice has been rural, and that's led to a lot of really neat opportunities. Some horror stories, of course, but a lot of really great opportunities. I moved up to the wonderful state of Utah in 2020 when I married the love of my life. And I started working for a DSO, my first DSO, which I'm sure we'll talk about in future podcasts. But I've been practicing with them for about 2.5 years now. And about that same time, I attended a Pinterest conference. We call it Pinners Conference. And I took a class on becoming an influencer, which I had not, you see influencers and here and there, but my goal was basically, I want free scrubs. I hate buying scrubs.
They are
For
expensive.
whatever reason, it's not a fun thing. It's, scrubs are like a necessary evil. So I've never enjoyed, like, I enjoy wearing scrubs, but the shopping and buying scrubs, like, ugh, it's not a great thing. Anyway, so that was my goal when I started my Instagram account. And here I am now on this podcast with Joffrey. So that's my brief introduction into how I got here on your computer screen.
Well, thanks, Amanda. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Joffrey Bunlin, and I have two very smart, beautiful children, and they are funny. My son, he loves jujitsu, and my daughter, she's an amazing gymnast. They're both like very talented. I don't know where they got such good coordination from.
And like type A personalities. I have met both of them, and they're kind of type A's for
Yeah,
being
they had
such
to get
little
that from
people.
their dad. I don't know. I think I can I kind of like sometimes can be type A and then sometimes not at all. I don't
Mhm.
I bounce around a little.
I call it B
Um
plus. I call it a B
Thank you.
plus.
Yes, I love that. Yes, I'm a B plus personality.
Because you can turn it
uh,
off. Type A's you can't turn off. B plus, it's like pick your battles.
yes. Well, my husband, I just have to say, has been so incredibly supportive of all of these career adventures I'm taking, and so I'm just forever grateful to have him in my life. And hygiene also has a very special place in my heart. I absolutely love our profession. I always describe myself as an advocate for patients, providers, and dental practices in that order. And about 2 years ago is when I co founded Hygiene Elevated. And at that point, I was really just at a spot where I thought, I want to do more. And if I want to help more patients, I need to start helping more providers. And I have just found so much joy in helping other hygienists. And I love the challenge. They don't always love me at first, but they do when we're done. And I just I just love it. I love connecting with other providers. I love the networking that we've embarked in. I love the professional growth that we're experiencing. And oh, I've also been speaking to dental hygiene schools, and I love talking to the students. I love like trying to give them all the advice and tools and tips and stuff that like I wished I had had in hygiene school. Um, it's kind of funny because every time I speak with these schools, Amanda, they're like, I close and I'm like, here's all my contact information. If any of you guys have any questions or something you want to talk to somebody, just DM us. Me or Amanda, whoever sees it first, will respond. And they never ask for help. And I'm like, what? Come on. This is like my free gift to the next generation of hygienists. Take it, guys. So,
They don't know the gold that you're offering. They
I
they don't know.
know. And so
Well, and
anyways,
two, they probably just don't even know the help. They don't know the question to ask yet.
yes.
That's probably
And
part of it.
but I'm here for them. I want to help as many hygienists as I possibly can. That's like the mission that I'm on now is let's just help as many as we can. And so I mean, we could just dive right into, that's what the podcast is about. We're talking about all things dentistry, all things hygienist related. Amanda and I will be bringing on guest speakers, and we will ask them questions so that you guys can get insight to their opinions and their lives as well. And I don't know, Amanda, why don't you share with them like how we met? I love that story.
Our story, yes. I want to preface this story by saying Joffrey is a brave woman. I don't know anybody, well, I can't say I don't know anybody, but um starts a business, will go to speak to hygiene students, just kind of fearless, like not afraid to put herself out there. And that is kind of the story of how we met. Um so I alluded to earlier that I had started my influencer page, um, that is the Curvy Scaler. Shameless plug again. But she had seen some of my posts and liked it, and she reached out to me via Instagram and said, "Hey, do you want to meet up for dinner?" She didn't know that I was in Utah because a lot of times you don't know where the location of somebody on Instagram is. But I had taken a picture in front of the UDA, Utah Dental Association annual meeting sign, just posting like, "Hey, it was a fun year." And she saw that and was like, "Oh, hey, local." So she reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to go out to dinner?" No, like, "Hey, my name is Joffrey. This is what I do. This is what I would like to talk to you about." And so apparently I'm just a sucker for a free meal. And so I was like, "Sure." So, I made sure I had Life 360 activated, told my husband where I was, what our game plan was, safe words, so on and so forth. But yes, it was a wonderful rainy evening that Joffrey and I met up. I think the blue iguana, red iguana,
Red iguana.
red iguana. Um, delicious, delicious fajitas. We were actually, I remember this, because I didn't know what Joffrey really looked like. And so she's like, "I'm wearing a black sweater." And I was like, "Oh, I'm also wearing a black sweater." So we were actually dressed almost similar, which is just like a funny little anecdote. But yeah, so we sat down, had dinner, and she fortunately like got straight to the point and wasn't like a psycho killer or anything. Um and yeah, so we kind of hit it off professionally. We've been like dental buds. um Basically all of her crazy ideas, I feel like I just enable. I enable
I love
Joffrey. I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a podcast. Yes, let's go to Florida. Yes, let's do this." So all of those things, like, she gives the idea and I'm like, "Okay, and this is how we'll do it." So
Mhm.
I don't know if it's an enabling relationship or I think it's healthy. I think it's a healthy professional relationship, but that seems to be the dynamic.
Yeah, I forgot that I didn't introduce myself when I just slid right into your DMs. Do you wanna go to dinner?
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
funny
huh,
I did that. Uh,
yes. But it worked out. It worked out.
but no, absolutely true. I had been following Amanda on social media, and then, we had a booth at convention, and when I had seen she posted those photos, I'm like, "Oh, she's in Utah? I wanna meet her." And I'm like, running my social media pages too hard. So I love that Amanda has taken that role for Hygiene Elevated. So thanks, Amanda.
My pleasure.
Um, let's see. What else do we have for them today, Amanda?
Kind of the hats worn. So I think we talked a little bit about background, but what about your background? How long have you talked about how you've been practicing? Are you still practicing clinical hygiene? Are you just doing um consulting? Where are you at?
Yeah, so right now I've got a hybrid schedule. I'm running clinical hours half the week, and then I'm doing consulting on the other half of the week. It's kind of a lot. I'd love to see myself just transition out of clinic entirely. Just feels like where my soul is going. Like I love the consulting a lot more than the confinement I have found myself in that clinical operatory. I love seeing patients, don't get me wrong, but I just something new, something different. That's kind of where I see
Mhm.
myself headed. Then we've got the webinars. We've been participating on other podcasts. Speaking to the hygiene students. Recently co-wrote an article for the RDH magazine with a good colleague of mine, Shelly Brown, and um, just kind of dabbling everywhere right now. Really, I love it. It's always like something new, something different. Like let's try it. I'm really excited for the to now that I'm dragging you to Nashville. Like I'm just like hop on, Amanda, we're
I
going.
think I actually bought my own ticket and everything first this time instead of last year. I was like, just
Oh, you be oh, yes,
yes.
yes.
I did beat
Hesitation
you
last year,
this
but
year.
none this time. No
A little
hesitation
bit,
on this
yeah.
one. No, I'm really excited for Nashville and networking. I kinda see, like, that being the next exciting adventure is just trying to meet a whole bunch of other professionals that are equally in love with the profession as we are.
No, I totally agree. I'm obviously nervous, but very excited because it's a group of like 50 professionals and but it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the energy is going to be a lot of fun. But I think because we went to RDH under one roof in Orlando last year, just the vibe and the energy was so great. Like that was the first time I had ever been to just a hygienist conference and much less traveled out of state for one with a stranger for the most part. Um but it was so much fun. You didn't feel like the odd man out. Like you were amongst peers. It's not like going to, when your doctor takes you to a conference, whatever. Everybody that was there wanted to be there, and it was just a different level. And it was so much fun. So I'm even more excited for the evolution portion of it this year, just to see, yeah, like what you said, like what's next. Whether your goal is just to be a better clinician or just to really have network and see, okay, what's that next step for me professionally and investing in yourself.
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking too, like, getting to the opportunity to network out in Nashville, we're going to be able to connect with so many cool individuals that will come on this
Hmm.
podcast with us. And I
Yes.
think that is what's going to be most exciting for everybody who listens to the show is we are avidly looking and seeking out like rad individuals to chat with. So
Rad, rad individuals. No, it's true because I think what was it, between the two of us we have over 30 years of dental experience, and we everybody has their own unique experiences within hygiene, but between the two of us, like, we don't know everything. And so being able to really um dive into other people's experiences through that networking opportunity is what our goal is, to bring those professionals and those experts to you and have those innovations and conversations for our listeners. So that is, I think, our goal for this podcast.
well said, Amanda. We'll just like close it here and tell everybody just to subscribe, follow us on Instagram. We've got Hygiene Elevated, Joffrey B, the RDH coach, the Curvy Scaler. All of our accounts are just overflowing with great content for all of you guys. And
And fun
we're
and
always
fun.
listening to feedback. We were want if anyone has any feedback for us, please bring it our way. We'll take the criticism lightly, but
And we want to know if there's something specific you're like, hey, I need help with this, or um just some of the newer things that are kind of coming to the surface for hygienists. What was it? Silent quit. I keep calling it silent quitting, burnout,
quiet quitting.
quiet quitting. That just flows so much better, but I can never remember quiet quitting, um, burnout, the scaling, staging and grading with perio, those types of things, or even something beyond that. How to physically take care of yourself, or if you want us to get an expert on any sort of ergonomics, we want to hear it too. But let us know, please.
All right, stay tuned, guys. Another episode's coming soon.